Alright, now we'll actually get into my collection. And we're going to start off with the smallest of my collection. And something I forgot to mention in the previous video, which I've noticed I forgot to mention a couple other things. But, I'm going to start off with my Game Boy collection, which I keep in this little briefcase type of thing here. And let me open it up for you guys so you can see what it's set up like. Straighten it a little bit. Things got a little going around. But yeah, that's how I normally keep my games. And we got my Game Boy Advance SP here, which is a silver one. This is actually the second Game Boy Advance SP that I've got. I originally had a red one, but the battery crapped out on it for some reason. I guess it was defective or something. I don't know. I let it... What happened was it died. I didn't charge it for a long time. And then when I went to charge it, it wouldn't charge, and turn it on, it wouldn't turn on. So it was basically just dead. So I had to get a new one, which got this one, which actually I probably like better than the other one because I like the color scheme better, and I think the screen is better quality if memory serves me right. But yeah, it's pretty reliable little handheld, this one. I think at one point I had a Game Boy Advance, like a original big one, but I either got rid of it or sold it or something like that. But getting back to the setup here, put that back there. Also got some things under these flaps here. Oops, games fell. But yeah, we got some games that I keep in there as well as some manuals and some other stuff like health instruction manuals and advertisements that also came with the game. So yeah, I'll put this down now and start getting into these games. Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. Probably one of the first Kirby games I ever played, and it's really fun. Really got me into Kirby. I think it's also the first Game Boy Advance game I ever owned. And yeah, it's pretty kick-ass little first Game Boy Advance game for me to own. My name's also written on the top in very faint marker. That was something that kind of happened with my games back in the day, but yeah, fun little Kirby game. It's really awesome. SpongeBob SquarePants, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Well, what can I say? I like SpongeBob as a kid, so I naturally want some SpongeBob games, and you know, this isn't actually that bad of a 2D platformer. SpongeBob has different abilities with his bubbles. He's got normal ones that'll just entrap people in a bubble. He's got some that he can bounce off of, some that can actually destroy walls, and some that he can float on. So yeah, it's kind of cool, that aspect, and takes you different places like Rock Bottom, the carnival or the fair or whatever, and you know, eventually you get to the Flying Dutchman's ship, of course. I think I've beaten this game. I can't quite remember. I know I've at least gotten as far as to the Flying Dutchman's ship, but you know, overall not a bad little SpongeBob game, I'd say. It's also available on console, but from what I've heard, that's apparently not all that good of a game. So, Hamtaro, Ham Heartbreak. To be honest with you, I don't know why I own this game. I guess I liked Hamtaro as a kid. I don't really remember the show all that much. I know I've seen a couple episodes and I have faint memories of it, but I didn't really think I loved the show as a kid, but apparently I'm remembering wrong because I liked it enough to get a Game Boy Advance game. And surprisingly, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, I'd say. It's definitely kind of a unique little game. And the gameplay just basically revolves around you learning all these phrases to help you kind of progress. Like, even do certain tasks like ram into objects and things like that. You gotta learn a certain phrase in the ham language. And yeah, it's a surprising little good game, and I'd probably actually like to try some of the other Hamtaro games. And you know, I'd recommend that you maybe check this little game out, even if you're not a fan of Hamtaro, because it's definitely kind of interesting. Crash and the Huge Adventure. kind of small for a huge adventure, but you know, it's not a bad little 2D port of Crash Bandicoot. It's kind of similar to the more classic games, I suppose. Not quite, because it's more 2D and that's more 3D, you know, obviously. But yeah, it's not a bad little Crash Bandicoot game. I obviously like Crash Bandicoot as a kid, so I got it on Game Boy Advance as well. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. So, if you like Crash Bandicoot, you should probably check this one out. And Entrance, which I haven't played yet. I would like to play. But yeah, if you like Crash Bandicoot, you can check this game out. The Incredibles. I actually got this from one of my friends. I traded some of my games to get this one because I played this a couple times at his house and I really liked it. You know, it was a really fun beat 'em up type of game. It's got pretty good graphics, you know, it looks like it's got a nice art style to it. And you know, beat 'em up mechanics are pretty solid, I guess, even though I'm not, especially back then, I wasn't very much a beat 'em up aficionado, being a kid and all, but yeah, not a bad little licensed game. It's definitely fun. I don't think I've beaten it though. I've gotten pretty far in it though. Might cheat a little bit and look up some of the passwords to just get back to where I was. Or I might just replay it again, who knows. This next one's a bit of a twofer. We've got Crash Purple and Spyro Orange, both in their special little carrying cases. I don't know if you can tell, but they've got Spyro and Crash sort of engraved on the cover there. And yeah, they're pretty cool little personal carrying cases for these games. They seem to be pretty good quality like the other ones I have. Maybe just a slight bit better, I don't know. Yeah, these games, they're both okay. You know, they're pretty cool in concept at least, you know. It's every kid's little dream to have Crash and Spyro cross over. And it's interesting to see Crash in Spyro's world and Spyro in Crash's world, but other than that, the games are just, okay, you know, maybe just average or something like that. Because they're just basically just minigame collection games, you know, and it's basically just you go to different portals and you play different minigames and things like that, and you meet some of the characters from each of the games and stuff, and you collect little collectible cards and stuff like that, and yeah, they're both okay. I obviously loved Crash and Spyro as a kid, so you know, I had to get this stuff as a kid. This is, like I said, every kid's dream. But for those who aren't really Crash fans or Spyro fans, you can maybe pass on these because honestly, they're not all that special. Attack of the Power Juju. I played the console version, which I think is the main reason why I even own this on Game Boy Advance, because I like the console version a lot, and I kind of wanted to own it, but I don't know, for some reason I couldn't get it on console, so I got it on Game Boy Advance, and how's it on Game Boy Advance? I mean, it's okay version of it, I guess. You know, it's more of a 2D platformer and not a 3D platformer, but I never really get far in this game. I get to like the 3rd or 4th level or whatever, and I just kind of stop. You know, I don't know if the game is difficult for me, if I just get bored with it. I kind of think I just get bored with it, but you know, maybe one of these days I have to go back and finish this game. I haven't really played a lot of the console version either, but if you want my opinion, console version is probably a lot better than this one, but you know, you could consider checking this one out too, I guess. These next couple of games are in a clear case, so I'm just kind of rapid fire through them. We've got Frogger's Adventures, Temple of the Frog, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, and Shrek 2. Not much I can say about these games. Frogger Adventures, pretty fun sort of Frogger type of game, I guess. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, another awesome Kirby game. It's also got multiplayer functionality, so that's pretty cool. And then Shrek 2. I'm not gonna go too much into this one, and one of the other ones I'm gonna show off because I plan on doing thoughts videos on both those games fairly soon. But in summation, I guess Shrek 2 is Shrek 2 on Game Boy Advance. It's not a bad little licensed game. You know, it's a pretty decent little port And it also has not that bad of a soundtrack. Some of these songs actually aren't that bad. And maybe consider looking up the soundtrack to this game and listening to a couple of songs. We got Shrek 2, Beg for Mercy, Cartoon Network Block Party and Speedway, and Dragon Ball Z, Legacy of Goku 2. And like I said with Shrek 2, Beg for Mercy, I'm going to do a thoughts video, so I'm not going to go all into that. But essentially it's kind of like an expansion pack to Shrek 2. You know, it uses some of the same assets and same general gameplay, but it's sort of an expansion upon the previous game. In Cartoon Network Block Party and Speedway, kind of funny story about why I own the double pack version of this. I originally owned Cartoon Network Speedway, but one day while I was at daycare, I lost my copy of the game. So I had to go with my mom to Walmart and get a new copy, and I actually happened to have had a double pack version of it that also came with Block Party, so we got that instead. So, you know, I lost one game, but I gained two in the process. So I guess that's cool. As for the games themselves, you know, Block Party's a decent little Mario Party clone. It's definitely the only way you get to play Mario Party on Game Boy Advance at the time, I guess. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's ever been a Mario Party Advance game. I think the only portable Mario Party games that exist are Mario Party on DS, and then that new, was it Island Tour on 3DS? You know, Mario Party Island Tour. Those are really the only portable Mario Party games until they come up with the Mario Party on Switch. Then we'll have another one. But Speedway, I guess it's also like a decent sort of Mario Kart type of game, you know. So yeah, they're basically like knockoffs of Mario Party and Mario Kart, but with Nintendo characters, Cartoon Network characters. But yeah. And Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2, fun little sort of RPG or adventure game. You know, it's definitely a lot of fun. I haven't played the others in the series, but I definitely like 2. If you're a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, I'd consider checking this game out too, because it's definitely a lot of fun, even if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z. Then we have Metroid Fusion and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Metroid Fusion I actually got from GameStop several years back. You know, this isn't recent. This is way before the whole retro video game initiative. So I'm pretty sure this is a legit copy, not a repro or anything like that. And yeah, Metroid Fusion is a fun little Metroid game. I've gotten to the very end, the final boss, but I haven't beat it. And I'm probably just going to replay through the whole game again, try to get all the power-ups too, and then beat the final boss one of these days. But yeah, overall I'd say it's definitely a fun little Metroidvania game. And SpongeBob SquarePants movie, interesting little story as to how I got this game. At school, I kind of helped a kid do his work for him, and he just gave this to me as sort of a payment or reward, I guess. I mean, it's an okay licensed game, you know, decent little ports of the movie game, I guess. It's sort of similar to like Revenge of the Flying Dutchman's 2D, and reminds me a lot of that, but I think you also get to play as Patrick for one. Or no, it's like a tag team sort of thing. It's like you play SpongeBob and Patrick at the same time, but you swap between characters, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And overall, I'd say it's like a 6 out of 10. It's an alright game, but yeah, get the console version, because that one's a whole lot better. Now for the last Game Boy Advance game I own, which this one's kind of an interesting one, and it's Pokemon Emerald version. But it's not a legit cart, it's a repro. As you can tell, the rated E symbol isn't quite right, and also the sticker quality isn't all that good. It's semi coming off. And yeah, I originally got this game thinking it was legit, but later, after watching Rebel Jesus' video, I found out that this is not legit. This is a fake. And, which kind of sucks. Not only that I thought this was real, but I also paid quite a fair amount for this thing, you know, for something that's not even a legit thing. I paid 25 bucks for this at GameStop, which, you know, saying that, and with my previous thing about Metroid Fusion, you know, not knowing that it's not a repro card, you know, I should know better than to buy Game Boy Advance games from GameStop after all the horror stories I've heard. But, you know, I didn't really think about that at the time. This is sort of an impulse buy, like, you know, this wasn't a common thing I'd just see laying around at GameStop, you know. And plus, I didn't really, you know, think that that sort of thing applied to Game Boy Advance games for some reason. I thought that was more of a problem with older games like NES, Super Nintendo, you know, things like that. Not Game Boy Advance games, but yeah, apparently Game Boy Advance games as well. Even, you know, DS games, I later found out, but to a smaller extent, I'd probably say. But yeah, I paid 25 bucks for a repro cart, which I suppose is decent. I mean, it's better than, like, buying a legit one online, because a legit one is like 30 bucks or more. At least I got sort of a discount on this one. But even then, I'd rather have paid something like 10 bucks for this thing, you know. Then I wouldn't, you know, feel so bad about buying it. And although thankfully the actual reproduction itself is pretty functional, it works pretty good, and it emulates the whole game pretty well. I don't think I've encountered any issues while playing the actual game. I'm actually played it like 99% through. I'm on the final boss at the last of the Elite Four you gotta fight. And the reason I'm still there is because I'm afraid that while fighting him, I'm going to get my ass kicked, and I'm just going to have to start over and grind up some more, and then, you know, fight the Elite Four again. And I just don't feel like doing all that crap because frankly, I'm kind of burnt out on Pokemon from playing this game, so, yeah, I'll have to definitely try beating the Elite Four before I even consider trying to get rid of this game, which I might get rid of, or I might just keep as sort of a novelty, maybe a reference to, you know, make sure I have a legit sort of Game Boy Advance cartridge. But yeah, Pokemon Emerald, the game itself, you know, good game. Pokemon's still not exactly my thing, but you know, I can see why people like it. Now we'll get into some Game Boy Color and I think some regular Game Boy games. Donkey Kong Country. Not a bad port, I guess. You know, at least graphically, you know, it's very similar to the Super Nintendo version. But apparently, from what I heard from other people, the controls in this port aren't really all that good, which kind of, you know, ruins the experience. But, which I played like 60% of the game all the way through without even knowing that. And, you know, I guess I can agree to a certain extent, because the part I'm stuck at, you know, it's a lot of that's due to the controls aren't all that great, and kind of, you know, makes it much harder to get through the level than it should be at certain parts, you know. But I mean, I got through 60% of the game just fine, you know, on those supposedly shitty controls, so, you know, it's kind of whatever. But yeah, I'd probably recommend the Super Nintendo version, because it's probably a whole lot better than this one. Game & Watch Gallery 2. I don't know what I can really say about this game. It's a collection of Game & Watch style mini-games, but instead of it being the original Game & Watch mini-games, it's, you know, it stars Mario characters, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And, yeah, I mean, it's a nice little mini-game collection, and I kind of like some of the mini-games on here. And, yeah. Kirby's Dream Land, the OG Kirby game, and, you know, I kind of like this game, but to be honest with you, the more recent Kirby games trump this one out of the water, because this one, you know, it's very basic, but it's also short as hell. Like, I beat this game literally in one night, like, 2 hours at most, if even that, you know. It kind of surprised me just how short this game was. I was like, dang, this game is barely anything to this game at all. I know that there's like a hard mode that I did unlock, and I could replay the game in hard mode, but I didn't feel like doing that. I didn't really see the point. Although I suppose since this game is really short, I could do that if I wanted to, and maybe one day I will. But right now, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely still a decent little game today. I don't think it holds up over time. Say more because there's not a lot to it. The other Kirby games have more to them and just kind of expands on this, and therefore the other games are just better than this one. But it started the whole franchise, and you gotta commend it for that. And it's still kind of enjoyable today, even though it's really short and it's not as good as the other games. Rampage World Tour. Not a whole lot to really say about this game. It's a decent little handheld port of Rampage, I guess. One thing that sucks about this copy of my game is got a huge ass view sticker on the back, which that's kind of annoying. Also, the label's kind of torn. But the game itself is basically just Rampage, but on Game Boy Color. And yeah, it's alright little game. I've enjoyed it from time to time. Tetris DX. What can I really say? It's Tetris on Game Boy Color, and it's Tetris, so it's fun. Yeah, I mean, probably not the best version of Tetris. There's probably a bunch of other versions now that are a whole lot better than this, but if you wanted Tetris on a portable system, I guess this was your go-to version then. And now for the final two Game Boy games, which are Donkey Kong Land and Kirby's Block Ball. Now, Kirby's Block Ball, it's not a bad little block ball game, I guess is what you'd call it. But, I can never really get that far in this game. I don't know, I guess it's just a bit too difficult for me. I just don't have the patience or something like that. But I always get to like the third or so level and just kind of, stop playing. But one of these days, I guess I'll actually finish through it and beat it, hopefully. But yeah, it's an interesting little Kirby game, and, maybe you should check it out. In Donkey Kong Land, I don't know what I can really say on this one. I haven't played it a lot compared to Donkey Kong Country. But, it's definitely similar to Donkey Kong Country on Game Boy Color, but except this is on Game Boy and it's not in color, and, it doesn't have the same sort of levels or anything as Donkey Kong Country games, obviously. But yeah, I guess it's not that bad of a port of the Donkey Kong style games. And, yeah, I probably have to play a lot more one day. Alright, that's all my Game Boy games. Now, as a quick little bonus, I'm going to show off all the manuals I have for these games. But the first one we're going to do is one I don't have the game to anymore, and that's the Cat in the Hat. The reason I don't have the game to this with this manual anymore is because I traded to a friend, either to get another game or just to get rid of it. But I think I did it in attempts to get another game, But, from what I remember about Cat in the Hat on Game Boy Advance, it was okay. It wasn't all that great. It was kind of boring to me, I guess, as a kid, which is the main reason why I got rid of it, because I didn't really like it, But I still kept the manual. I just still had the manual. I don't know, I just never gave it to my friend or anything. So, I'll either try getting rid of this manual, either just sell it to someone for like $1 or something, or just give it away for free. Or I just might actually try to get the game back myself, Maybe try playing it again now that I'm a bit older, and who knows, might have a little more patience or appreciation for it now. But at least for now, I've got a pretty good condition manual. Alright, now for the rest of my game manuals, which I'll go through quickly. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, SpongeBob SquarePants Friends of Flying Dutchman, Hamtaro Hem Heartbreak, Crash Bandicoot Hiccup Adventure, Tag and Power Juju, Crash Purple, Spiral Orange, Frogger's Adventure, Kirby and Amazing Mirror, Shrek 2, Shrek 2 Beg for Mercy, Cartoon Network Block Party, and Cartoon Network Speedway. I got 2 manuals when getting the double pack. And then Dragon Ball Z Legacy Goku 2, which also came with this cool little game map / poster. I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see it. But yeah, it's got the in-game map on one side as well as a poster of the other character down the side, which looks pretty damn cool. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little bonus addition to get with the game as well. Okay, that'll do it for showing off my Game Boy games. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and stay tuned because there's still more to come.